What's up YouTube, Firefist Chris here. Today I'm bringing you guys a new deck profile for OP-04, and this is for Rebecca. So to get started, I do apologize for not uploading consistently due to personal issues and reasons. One of them being like I really didn't enjoy the OP-03 format as much going into it. I really wanted to play Ace, and then the limitations kind of killed that a little bit. Definitely was still playable, but it kind of felt like it was the worst red deck out of the three, Whitebeard and Zoro. So it was a little bit disappointing, and then obviously with Ace having the worst matchups into yellow and yellow running rampant at the end of OP-03 kind of just hurt my chances there. So I just didn't really like the I guess the meta of OP-03, so I didn't really upload as much, didn't find this as enjoyable. However, moving into OP-04, I do find this format, it finally gets a little bit less stale with just so much red running rampant. That of which being Rebecca, and this is actually the leader I'm going to play for this format. I plan to go ahead and maxing the deck out and really just play testing as much as I can with this deck. This and Queen will probably be my main two go-tos for OP-04 as for tournaments, and I'll get straight into the deck profile. So obviously it's Rebecca. If you don't know already, it's a blue-black leader. It's a 5-life leader, and if you have 6 or less cards, you can rest the Dawn. And you can search the top 2 cards of your deck for a Dressrosa card and then trash the other card. So it's a really good card, obviously. It's just, in general, it's just really good for being consistent. That's kind of what the whole deck does in starving out your opponent, and I really just like that play style just in general. So going straight into the deck profile, I'll show now. Obviously, you run 4 Rebecca. It's the main searcher of the deck. I mean, can't really, it sets up everything for your whole deck. So definitely want to try to see this opening hand. For Leos, really good card. It does have, obviously synergy with Olabumus. If you don't have Kyros or on your 5 Dawn turns, you can do that if you already play like a Rebecca, and that way you can get rid of something 5 costs on your opponent's side of the field. Or it's really good on your 5 Dawn turn. And just in general, it just obviously combos very well with the deck. It's a black deck, so you are trying to pop cards. Then we have 4 Gyatts. 4 Gyatts is just a 2k counter. The effect is you can target a Dressrosa type, and you can attack the active character. So for this card, it does come up, pretty frequently for actually playing the card, but in general, a lot of times you'll just use this as a 2k. And next we have the blockers. So let's see here now. We'll have 4 Idios. So Idio, obviously, is just a great card. It's 2 blocker, searchable. Bartholomew, which was the best blocker, one of the best blockers in this deck, just because it's a 2k counter as well as a blocker. And then we have, of course, the heart and soul of the deck is Kyros. So Kyros allows you, it protects itself for one, so if it was to be KO'd, you can rest your stage card or Rebecca, and it wouldn't be KO'd. And then the on play is that you can KO opponent's character with a cost of 1 or less, and then mill 1 card from the top of your deck. Next is pretty much the real heart and soul of the deck is Orlabumus. This card is just really good for getting rid of any cost character on your opponent's side of the field, especially if you can get multiple out to stick, which is kind of the reason why blue is so hard for this matchup, just because if it can't stick, it's kind of hard for you to run your game plan. But in general, that's kind of what you want to see for most duels. You want to see this card. You can just pop a card, minus something by 4, and then you get to trash 2, which sets up your trash pile as well. Next we have Sabo, which is probably the best blocker to come out for this set. On play, you can protect everything from being KO'd by card effects until the start of your next turn, and then you can draw 2 and trash 2. So this helps get rid of the dead stage cards or anything dead in your hand that you don't want. It kind of just fixes up all your plays, honestly. And then we have our main beater of the deck, which is 4 Luffy's. Luffy, obviously, it's a great card. It's the reason why the deck works. Being able to restand itself, fix up your deck, and attack for large numbers. It's just great. This is kind of your win condition, honestly. For this deck, since your leader can attack, a lot of times you have to win games by summoning this and keeping it on board for 1 turn, and you can kind of pressure a 1-turn kill if they're at 4 life by just double attacking. And then if you have another King Kong gun, giving it to a Kyros or another Dressrosa type and adding all the Dawn, and it's kind of just puts them in a stalemate to either they have the counters or not. So honestly, Luffy's kind of the win condition of the deck. A card that I'm running, I'm just kind of trying it out, but I really do enjoy it for a lot of matchups, is 2 Kuzans. So the idea behind Kuzan is that if you can play this on curve going second, and then be able to drop Leos and Kyros afterwards, you don't even have to keep necessarily the Orlebumus, which is hard to keep on the board. This kind of has to get red rocked for it to get off the board. And just in general, it just adds a lot of pressure, and it gets rid of a 5 or less on play. So obviously it was a great card. Also, another good tip with this, if you already have Orlebumus, you can use that ability minus something by 4, so you can potentially pop larger cards once you play this, because you don't need to rest on for Orlebumus effect. Then obviously the best card in this deck is Colosseum, Corridor Colosseum. It gives all your Dressrosa characters rush. So this makes it so against board states you can really clear boards easily. Even come back and be able to just drop the Luffy, attack into active characters the moment he's played, which is really strong. I'm only playing the 1 barrier. I'm just testing out the 1 barrier. It has an effect as Radical Beam pretty much for black, but you need to have 15 cards in trash, which is definitely obviously possible. It's just more for like a late game if you're trying to protect something or protect your life. If they're going really heavy on life, it's just good for being able to counter out of certain things. Next card we have is the win condition as well, which is I play 3 of the King Kong gun. Just gives it 6,000 for Dressrosa character, and if you have 15 or more, then you gain double attack. So it's really good for just finishing up games in combination with the Luffy as well. I am running 2 of the Treno Bastardo. This card is just really good with combo with Orlebumus to get rid of larger characters on the board. Same thing as well is I run 2 of the 3,000 Worlds, and 3,000 Worlds is more primarily for cards that cannot be destroyed. Is the reason why you run this. And in general, the whole deck is really supposed to be looked at kind of as a toolbox deck, where you'll be playing out you kind of have to play every match differently depending on what your opponent is doing, but it's consistent enough where you can kind of change your game plan. And I think that's what I enjoy at least the most about this deck so far. And like I said, sorry guys, I have not been uploading as much. I'm going to start uploading consistently now for OP-04, especially with the release next week. We're going to have a box opening, as well as I'm going to try to do a box giveaway. And that way, if you guys, like, comment, subscribe, I'll go ahead and pick from people on the upcoming video to give away a box of OP-04. So if you guys enjoy the video, like always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.